I'm not on yet, Kraz. Welcome to Leighton's Loft podcast. You can find us every Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern Time, wherever you find your favorite podcast, as well as right here on Leighton's Loft Leighton's Loft Facebook page. And the reason why I'm thrown off a little bit is I told Crosby to join me today and say hi. Now he's running away, and he's jumped the gun out of the green room. He's already done with J5's hair guy. Hey, Kraz, you want to come on and say hi? Say hi to Lou and the gang and Emily. Come here, cutie. Come here. You show everyone such a big boy. Come here. Come here, cutie. All right. Now you can look at the camera right there.
Oh, Crosby,
say,
hello.
Hi, Lou. Say
How
hi,
we
Lou.
doing?
Say hi, Lou. You want to say hi? You want to say hi, Emily, who you saw earlier today?
That's me.
Why don't you tell everyone what your name is? All right, he's a little shy. All right, love you. Have fun. Thanks for stopping by. So that's why I was thrown off a little bit today, but really was thrilled that he wanted to be part of the show. Leighton's Loft podcast, as you can tell, we are not just about baseball cards, business. We are about family and, of course, mental health and your well-being. So hope everyone, speaking of which, has had a wonderful week since we've seen you since last week. But, of course, I have seen some of you on the Vintage Breaks Late Show. And, Lou, between Emily, Sam, J5, and the rest of the gang, with our big event ending Sunday, we would not be able to pull it off, without each and every one of them, both here locally and then, of course, VB South, VB West, and then some of our friends like Chris and Harry, who've been there with us for quite some time. We're very excited to have a big event ending this Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time at vintagebreaks.com.
Excellent. You got a great team down there. Everything, you guys pull everything off, it seems. It's great.
All excited. It's a big event.
Yep, absolutely. So wanted to give everyone a little bit of a heads up. Today, at the top of the hour, we have our very own James Phillips, who's part of the Vintage Breaks community, but also some really other interesting stuff about James. I'd rather have him kind of share in his own words.
Yep.
But he'll be at the top of the hour.
He's threatening a special guest, too.
And so I know that some of you that have been with us for a while are accustomed to some prizes that we give away here on the Leighton's Loft podcast show. So as we say every week, if you're listening to this show afterwards, where we share a variety of information about the hobby, life, and everything in between, you always have a chance to win, whether it be break credit, a cool vintage card, and a lot of other fun stuff, but you have to do it live during our show. And so even though we're a podcast, of course, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple and all that good stuff. If you'd like to join our community live, we'd love to have you. And one of the benefits of doing that is you'll have a chance to win one of 7 prizes, generally one of 7 prizes every week. So welcome to Brandon and Donald, Ryan, James, and Tom, Gary. Thanks for joining us here on Leighton's Loft Podcast.
We wanted to introduce everybody here to Emily. Emily's going to be keeping track of the names, and you enter by leaving a comment on the show. And Emily, this is both the YouTube feed and the Leighton's Loft feed. So if you're listening on Just Collect or watching on Vintage Breaks or something like that, that's not going to work for you. Come over to the Leighton's Loft feed and like the page and come on and leave a comment there. Emily will keep track of it. If you start a watch party and put a hashtag watch party on your comment after you start your watch party, you get 2 entries in for these prizes at the end of the show.
Yep, I'm trying to get all of you guys in for the bonus at the end of the show.
Great.
All right, Emily, we'll talk to you in a little while.
Absolutely. So without further ado, folks, we are going to be breaking right after our Loft show ends at 5:30 Eastern Time. You could join the regular crew at Vintage Breaks North. They'll be going live from 5:30 to 10, and then from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning tonight, Vintage Breaks West and Sir Charles G. Hey, Stu. What's up, David? So we have quite the afternoon planning, Lou.
You guys are running 24/7 now.
It really seems like that. It's hard to get some things done. My wife asked, "Hey, why are you getting up so early?" Because if I don't get up early, I'll have no chance in heck of getting done what I'd like to accomplish. And so, first off, I wanted to start off by letting everyone know that the 7 prizes for today all have to do with brake credit to vintagebrakes.com. And the reason being is with our big event ending this Sunday, you can find out all the details of that at vintagebrakes.com or directly at event.vintagebrakes.com. I want to be able to share the wealth here so that each and every one of the 7 winners today with their brake credit, Lou, as long as they spend it on spots at vintagebrakes.com before Sunday, they'll be entered into, at the very least, our buy any spot promo that ends on Sunday. And for those of you that do not know what that means if you buy any spot at all for any dollar amount. So you could buy a $3 spot, buy a $10 spot that guarantees you at least 1 entry. And of course, if you buy 2 of those spots, you get 2 entries, so on and so forth. But the top prize in the buy any spot promo, sponsored by Vintage Brakes that ends on Sunday, is a 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle graded PSA 1.5. It's got tremendous eye appeal. And in today's market, Lou, that goes for about $1,500. So if you think about it, right? Oh yeah, if you connect the dots for people right now, if you win a free brake credit on our show, if you spend it at Vintage Brakes before Sunday, tune in Sunday at 10 o'clock to win. Either keep the card for your collection or sell it for profit. We'd love to hear what you do. Please share with us your journey. Once again, the 7 prizes for today are as follows. First place will get a $75 brake credit. Second place will get a $50 brake credit. Third place will get a $25 brake credit. 4th through 7th will get a $10 brake credit. And a little special wrinkle, Lou, you were the one with our old school Vintage Brakes PSA show that kind of drove us in this direction. I thought it was great. We're going to give a little bit of an incentive today for the community to work together. If we get 70, and Lou, you have to keep track for me because I'm not able to see on my end, but if we have 75 live viewers on Leighton's Loft today, we're going to give away an 8th prize, a $75 brake credit.
Wow, nice. Excellent.
Yep, but the only way to do that, Lou, is if everyone works together and if we have 75 people watching. Therefore, not only if you start a watch party, will you potentially increase the amount of people watching us, but you also get an extra entry into the promo.
Right. We've been flirting with 75, so this is doable for you guys out there. So
that's what I see, Lou. I could have done a hunch. I could have done a hunch, and then all of a sudden, you fall 14 short. I'm trying to give something here that takes a little bit of effort, but it's achievable.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Mario? Thanks for joining us, Tom and Kev. So next up, Lou, I know you have a juicy trivia question. We just got in a 1940 play ball collection, which, believe it or not, is now live on our site at vintagebrakes.com. It is a 200-card hit random featuring Joe DiMaggio and Jimmy Fox, Honus Wagner. Well, this is not part of that break, but this is free. We're going to give away Lon Warnicki from the 1940 play ball set for free. But, Lou, we'd like you to ask the question. And the bigger pressure, Lou, is identify who answers it correctly first and explain to everyone kind of how that works here at the Loft.
Yes, but this, of course, we're giving away this card today, and not to confuse people, but this is kind of a tease for the card we're giving away next week. You want to tell them about the card we're giving away next week?
Oh, Lou, see, you set me up well, like with an underhanded pitch. Thank you. Yep. So, folks, tune in next week on Leighton's Loft live podcast. Once again, of course, you can always listen to our podcast on Apple and Spotify and all that good stuff afterwards and still get your hobby knowledge and hear Lou's soothing voice. But the only way to win is to tune in live. So next week, we're going to give away a Fernando Tatis Topps Chrome Update PSA 10 Family Business Rookie. And the reason why we thought this is such a great fit is the trivia question we're asking today that Lou's about to ask for this 1940 play ball card actually has to do with Tatis's father.
Yes. How do you want me to phrase? You want me to phrase this tougher, or you want me to phrase it easier?
I'd say a little easier, but not too easy where all of a sudden there's 17 correct answers at once.
Yep, gotcha.
All right,
Fernando Tatis's father, one of my favorite players back in the day.
I remember him, of course.
Fernando Tatis's father once hit 2 grand slams in a single game.
I remember that.
And beyond that, he hit it off the same pitcher. Both Grand Slams were hit off the same pitcher. So the first person who comes up with the pitcher that Fernando Tatis Sr. hit the two Grand Slams off of in one game, they're the winner.
You will win this 1940 Play Ball lawn warranty. And, of course, next week, tune in for your chance to win that Tatis Family Business PSA 10 rookie. Hey, what's up, Mike D? How are you? What's up, James?
As James points out, they were both in the same inning, too. And Patrick gets it. Patrick Linus.
Yeah, I thought it was Chanho. I didn't want to say.
Yep.
But I remember it well, Lou, because that was like my heyday, man. I was prospecting Tatis Jr. rookies.
Yep.
97 Bowman Chrome, I remember very well.
So Patrick Linus is the winner today.
All right. So Patrick's won from us before. Congratulations, Patrick. What's up, Ryan?
I have to up my trivia game a little bit, I think. That was too easy.
You're dealing with they have a fair amount of knowledge between everyone.
Oh, I know.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about flipping. We covered this last week. And I don't know if anyone has any examples, but I wanted to talk to you folks about what I've done since last week's Leighton's Loft podcast show. So, Lou, we talked a little bit about retail product coming out at Walmart and Target. Folks are going out and cleaning off the shelves.
Right.
When I say folks, some are dealers, some are speculators, some are flippers, which is like a dirty word. People get upset. Right. And so, I would love to be one of those people that was fortunate enough to come across stuff. I've only gone to Target once or twice because my wife needed to get something and unfortunately didn't have anything. But yet since last Wednesday, and if Chris Gilmore was live, he would be able to attest to this because he's helped kind of bridge some of these deals for us here at Vintage Breaks. So, Lou, since last Wednesday, I spent no less than several $1,000s buying retail product, meaning stuff that appears on the Target shelf, on the Walmart shelf. And to be fair, maybe these folks bought it from an in-between. I don't know. But I do believe that they got it themselves or their wife went or their significant other, whatever their case is. And they bought a bunch of product. They let us know, hey, Leighton, we're going to sell it, through Chris. We're going to sell it to you. It's a little bit below current market or whatever the case is. And so my point is, Lou, not only did we spend the money, but we were happy to do that. And I'm letting everyone know that flipping doesn't have to be as complicated as, hey, you now have to understand the 1952 Top Set. There's an app and something I was reading about on Twitter where, they teach you about which toys to buy from Target or which, all kidding aside, which food. Like there's a limited edition of an Oreo cookie. Hey, that's not for me. I'd rather do something I'm passionate about. But my point is right now, there's definitely money to be had for those that are willing to hustle and that have the time. And therefore, I looked at, or I follow the news enough to know that the unemployment rate is still pretty high in our country. So that's why I never judge, how someone's trying to make their money. But, in terms of the flip game, that's what I was trying to allude to last week. I had bought some individual cards. I bought a few cards from our community. But specifically between Chronicles basketball and Topps Chrome baseball. And to be fair, I don't know all the terminology. I'm not hip. But there are blasters, there's megas, there's this, there's that. As long as it was reasonable for us, realize some of it maybe I'll buy for breaking, for grading, Lou. Some of it we're buying for vintage breaks, so to resell and breaks, or as just as giveaways. And not one time did I think, wow, man, I really, that guy screwed me because I could have bought it, or that person, to be fair, could have been a woman who sold it to us. I don't know. That person screwed us because I could have bought it at Target for this, and they charged us this. So, one of the things I don't know if we covered last week, you guys got to realize, and gals realize, they don't bat 1,000. They don't even bat 500. You could go to 17 different stores and get nothing. Yeah. And there's no one to give them money for the gas if it doesn't work out. No one's going to be there to give them a free lunch if it doesn't work out. And so it's just a different form of trying to make some money with a side hustle. And so my point is, whether it be it's you yourself that wants to do it, or like us here at Vintage Breaks and just collect, we bought a bunch of it, secondary market from folks who were able to get it direct. I don't play or hate. I love the game. I appreciate those that work hard to flip. And to be honest, and this is something that we talk about all the time in our hobby, I think they're fantastic. I love the Blasters Minnesota Husker. But if you decide to sell, you know who to contact, Leighton at justcollect.com. We're very strong buyers of that stuff. But the point is, Lou, look what's great about flipping stuff that you bought on a store shelf. You didn't take something from your collection.
Right.
You made, even if you made $80, if you made $80, well, guess what? Your next $80 of breaks, your next $80 of vintage cards you buy, they're already paid for. So maybe you're going to buy something that you wouldn't have bought normally. Maybe you're going to buy something where it's a pack or a break. You know there's a little bit of risk, but you don't care. I've heard this terminology, you're playing with the house money. You know you're not playing with house money. You're playing with money that you've earned, flipping.
So can you guys are professionals, right? You can go out and hit a store and buy a bunch of boxes and play the numbers game, right?
Yes.
But a person going in, walking into Target, picking up a box of something, can you play the game that way and do well? I mean,
buying just one box?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So remember, Lou, we recently pulled a very special Zion Williamson signed RPA with someone that had a $100 spot in a Spectra box. But then more importantly, someone just mentioned in our chat, we appreciate it. What did they say? Patrick said that Chris Gilmore from Vintage Break South just pulled something. I think it was a Luis Robert autograph redemption card from a Topps Chrome Blaster that was bought from a Target or a Walmart. And that card's hundreds of dollars, if not more, depending on if it was numbered.
Is there a quote-unquote commons market where you can go buy a box and then make some of it back by flipping over cards that don't necessarily have an exceptional value?
Yes. So my recommendation, Lou, a great recommendation would be checkoutmycards.com, comc.com. They sell cards anywhere from 25 cents to $100. They sell cards that are more expensive than that, but that's what they specialize in.
Sure.
And so, if you get, let's say, inserts, Lou, rookie cards that maybe aren't gradable or that they're the lesser cards, they sell for $1 or $2. Very, very hard to sell those cards on eBay. So my friend Tim at Check Out My Cards, my advice is to read about them, learn about them. I've been using them for years. I don't use them as much as I used to just because I don't have the time. But they do all the work for you, Lou. In other words, you take a box of 800 cards. You have to pay them for this service. They don't do it because, you got a nice, pretty face like me. So you send them a box of 800 cards. Let's say it's 25 cents. If you do the economy service, 25 cents per card to process them. They bang it for 20% if you sell it on their site, but they scan it, they list it for you, they do the title. You just have to price it.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get in. Ryan's talking about local card shops cleaning out the shelves and then reselling the boxes on there. Is that a big problem in some areas? I'm guessing in metro areas it's not a big problem, and I can imagine there are places in the country where it's a little tough.
Sure. So listen, I want to be blunt here, Lou, as I normally try to be. So I want to address, I appreciate you leaving the comment. What's up, Ryan? If you could leave it on the screen so that way it's just easy enough for me to read. So Ryan was saying that his local card store, Ryan's particular local card store, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan, you're from the Ohio area, is cleaning out shelves from Target, I would imagine, a Walmart, he's suggesting, and then tripling the price. And he's saying it's rough for collectors. And so what I would say to you is we don't know their situation. So let's just be honest here and not talk about pre-COVID times because those times are now behind us. Let's talk about the reality of what's going on. The reality of what's going on is in my community of Maplewood, Millburn, New Jersey, stores are being decimated. There's a storefront that just opened up next to Starbucks, which, by the way, has incredible traffic. I took a picture of it because I'm going to call. I want to see their rent. I would love, as things calm down, to have a retail space for both Vintage Breaks and Just Collect.
Oh,
but
nice.
my point is nothing is safe. So that local card store that used to have traffic, what if they didn't have an internet business? What if they didn't do breaking before this? Do I begrudge them for going to the card stores and trying to make a living? And to be fair, Ryan, if it's not your local card store, it's going to be a flipper. To me, at least the local card store is in the fabric of your community. It's part of your community. You want them to be there. And so really, my advice is, and some of you may not like to hear it, if you are left out of buying something from the store and you begrudge a card shop or someone else for doubling, tripling, or whatever the price is, my best suggestion is just collect something different. There's so much stuff to collect, and there's so much stuff at different price points that if you truly just need that, then you're not really trying to collect. You just really want something you can't have. And if, I don't mean to get all holistic on you, or I'm not a mental health coach, but my point is like you have to let go at some point. There's things. Are you kidding me? I could have bought Magic Bird rookies 60 days ago. It makes me ill to see what they're going for now. But if I want a Magic Bird rookie, this is what I got to pay.
Yep.
And if I don't get one, I don't think anything different other than I missed the boat. And Ryan might say, well, hey, or someone else who's against the card stores doing that or cleaning the shelf might say, well, late, but it's not fair. Well, why isn't it fair, I ask? And what I mean is I'm trying to be engaging in a debate. Are they supposed to save it for the next person that's going to make money? And I would ask Ryan, if you found all that stuff, are you going to be giving away that stuff at cost to all of your friends and family? And if you are, maybe you're a better person than the card store, but the card store wants to eat. I can tell you that. And you can't eat with an empty card store. So they got to figure out a way to make their money somehow. And like I said, for me, think about it, guys. I'm telling you on air live, I have to look at the numbers, thousands, like $4 or $5 grand since last Wednesday with people and these aren't card stores. These are individuals that went and they bought.
Right.
Didn't even cross my mind for a minute. What's their situation? I don't like to judge, is my point. And I think that would be my best advice is if you feel like you're shut out as a collector from National Treasures basketball, from Chrome baseball being ripped off at the store because too many people bought it, buy a T205 for $15. It's a card from 1910. Hit me up, Leighton at justcollect.com. I will guarantee I will make your day and blow your mind when you can get vintage cards for $15 or $20.
Yep.
So it's just about reshaping and reshifting and understanding that the market is really hot and not making yourself nuts, Ryan, in regards to, hey, you know what? I've just shown up at my 11th Target and they don't have something. All kidding aside, my time is worth a lot of money in my estimation between my family and what I do for a living. So if folks saved me from having to drive around, once again, you don't bat 1,000. So to get all the quantity I got in the last 7 days and not have to do that driving myself or pay someone $20 an hour to do it for me, by the way, still no guarantees I would get it.
Right.
As Stuart said from Australia, we're hoping to go live, Vintage Breaks Australia, sooner rather than later, with Stuart and the gang. It's supply and demand.
Yep. Yeah, and it's we're capitalists, right? I'm a capitalist anyway. Plus, at this point, in double or triple, you can decide where the line is, where it's gouging or where it's fair.
Stop by.
Right, exactly. But if you're going to give the money, giving it to a local card shop as opposed to the local Walmart or Target is probably good if you're in the hobby and in the collection. Let them make a buck or two.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And I also say, as much as Just Collect is buying cards, I'm not sure if people are aware of this tool. Lou, I'm going to just Google it for a minute because I want to make sure I give everyone the right address. But it is
Ryan's got it right. He said he bought some Chronicles basketball from them to help my itch and get their light bills. Help their light bills.
Excellent. So Lou, this is to show you our dedication to the local card store community. If you go to justcollect.com/baseball card store finder, I don't know how to pull that up on the screen, Lou, but we just got a recommendation from the other day. If you Google it, Lou, just put in Just Collect baseball card store finder.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Sure. So what I think is great, Ryan, you can see our commitment. Think about it. Just Collect is in the business of buying and selling baseball cards, yet I have a page dedicated on my very own website at justcollect.com, baseball card store finder, where you can look up, let's say obviously people aren't traveling as much. Let's just say you're going out of town. You're going to Florida. I'd like to know if there's any card stores around me. And you might say, well, Leighton, can't you Google it? Yeah, I can tell you this. I put the time and the money into the project to have it done right. The problem is Google's not updating which stores have gone out of business, which stores are good. Thanks very much. So we just got a recommendation today. So you can find this on our justcollect.com website, which once again, you may ask, why would he put it up there? That's competition? Not really. We're all part of the same family, meaning, we're all in business to buy and sell baseball cards, hopefully to enjoy ourselves. And so I recognize I'm not going to get every lead from Arkansas, Ohio, Vermont. But yet, if I promote other people's businesses and maybe they get a collection that they don't want, I'm hoping they're going to think of Just Collect first. And that was part of the reason why we did it. And the other reason was I thought it was a great tool for collectors. If you go away on vacation or if you go away for business, you could put in the address of where you're going and try to figure out if there's any card stores in the vicinity close to you.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great tool.
Yeah, it's funny. I forgot to talk about it recently. And then two people emailed us in the last week to add their local card store to it. And I thought, I definitely got to bring it up today on the show.
Oh, so people can do that. They can make sure that it's listed.
Oh, absolutely. So once again, Lou, we built this ourselves. We did all the work, the legwork. We did a lot of calling, verifying. That being said, there's new card stores that open all the time. Some fold, and others just maybe we missed because they didn't have a Google presence and we just didn't see them. We'd love to hear from you about your local card store, especially, Lou, if you yourself have been there. So like Monty texted me the other day. He's going through his local card store. I should have asked him. I don't remember if they were on our list, but I know he loves going there. So I know for us, we're not looking to take their business away. In fact, we're looking to help them. So that if someone's in their vicinity, maybe we're going to send them a few extra customers a month.
And this might be a good opportunity for people who have cards in their store but aren't necessarily think of themselves as a card store. I know in my area, there's a lot of antique stores, thrift stores, stuff like that, have a little card selection in there. But they may not be marketing themselves as a card store outright.
So I wanted to address something that Gary Foster said. If you could bring it up, Lou. It was his last comment, and then we'll bring in James in a minute. He's probably getting a little antsy there with Rudy in the green room. I'm really excited. So Gary said his 7-year-old who's starting to collect is frustrated by seeing bare shelves every time we go to Walmart and Target. So here's the deal. First, Gary, you've been a tremendous member of our community. Please drop me a line, Leighton@justcollect.com. And for that matter, anyone who emails me direct, who takes the time to explain to me what's going on, you bet your bottom dollar, Gary, that your son or your daughter, I don't know if you said it was your son or daughter, but your 7-year-old is going to have a care package coming from our office. I don't know what will be in it. It might be a mixture of old and new, but I know we'll make their day. It's the very least that we could do. But then more specifically, and I do this with Crosby, it's not easy. I hate to say it like this, but our sons and daughters at 7 years old, they're smart enough to understand that they're not going to get everything they want in life. And so I hate to say it like that, but my point is, Gary, maybe if they don't get that, you could take them for ice cream. Maybe you could buy a vintage card or a rookie card from your local card store. It doesn't have to be that the Target or Walmart is the interaction, is the exchange of the dollars and cents for cards. That might be the beginning of your journey, but it's not as if they don't have anything left, that your journey's over. So please don't look at it like that. Try to think broader based, community loving, and support your local card store. Go to your local buddy's house. Go to a garage sale. It's really fun to hunt. Are you kidding me? I've only done it a few times. My son's asked me when we're going to do it again. I said, well, when COVID's done. So that's how he talks about a lot of things is when school coming back. Well, when COVID's over, he doesn't really understand. He's 5. Yep. But, that's my best advice, Gary. I'm happy to help. I certainly can understand the frustration. If my son goes to the store and they don't have a toy, we try to talk to them about, Cros, they're not always going to have everything that we want in life. But guess what? Mommy and Daddy would like some ice cream. What do you think about that? We can all go for ice cream as a family, or let's go to the local card store and support them. I think there's a lot of things that we could do.
Yep. All right. You want to bring James on?
Absolutely. What's up, Chef?
All right. Here we go. Here's James Phillips.
Hi, guys. Hi, Leighton. Hi, Lou.
Hey, James. Thanks for joining us here today on Leighton's Loft, our podcast. Where are you coming from today, James?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm at work. Actually, they're kind enough to let me take an hour off. I'm with Audi Fort Lauderdale, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about cards and talk about my work in rescue. This is great.
Great. Well, let's talk about cards first, because I don't think I'll get mushy about that and shed a tear or two. So why don't you kind of take us a little bit back to your journey as a kid? Did you collect or did you not? And then fast forward a little bit to the last few years. Were you collecting the whole time? And if not, how'd you re-engage and what that journey was like?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, so I'm 44 years old, and I would say I started collecting in 1986 as a 10-year-old. And, I think we're of similar ages. And going back then, my brother had bought me, my older brother Tony had bought me, you might have had it, it was the hardbound 35 years of Topps collecting. I believe you either started with the 51 Redbacks,
sure,
53 Topps, up through, I think, 85. And as a 10-year-old, needless to say, my income wasn't great at the time. Odd jobs and chores and, holidays. So I would go through this thing almost like a thesaurus and just like look at the old sets and the cards and the players I heard about. And then, of course, I collected in 86, 87, the current stuff. Why I never saw an 86 Fleer baseball pack anywhere, I don't know. I'm from Chicago. 86 Fleer just seemed to not be on the radar, even though 86 Fleer baseball was. I'm sure you've thought about that as well in terms of basketball. But it was like a passion, even at a young age. And one thing I always said is, I didn't have access to the old cards, or certainly not old packs. And, so I collected some vintage, what I considered to be vintage at the time, a Pete Rose here, or a Dave Winfield. 72 was my favorite set, just because it had that far out 3D design that you still really haven't seen since. That being said, I collected all the way through the early 90s, when I was finishing up with high school. Then I went to college, and need to say there were other interests in college. Baseball cards weren't at the focal point, or sports cards at that time. And decades went by, and then I think I'd mentioned this to you before. About 3 years ago, Facebook, I kept saying I was getting pestered on Facebook by Vintage Breaks. What's this VB? VB. And finally I click into it because there's downtime in the car business. And I see, I believe it was John 5, J5, opening up a vintage pack. I want to say it was a 72 rack, which to me seemed like alien at the time. Like, first off, where did he get a 72 Topps Baseball Series 1 rack pack from? Because I'd never seen one. And what's going on? So lo and behold, I decided, you know what? Maybe I'll throw my hat into the ring. Maybe I'll spend a few dollars and get it on a break here and there. And I guess the rest is history in terms of that. And I actually brought a few cards with me today that I've actually been pulled. Two of them actually by you from your loft at the Late Night Loft. And you guys were kind enough to grade them with SGC, and they came back. I don't know if you wanted to see them.
Yeah, please show us. That'd be awesome, James. So James is about to show us a couple cards that we pulled for him live on air. He got graded, and I would imagine they're now part of his collection.
So the first one was pulled. The one thing about the Late Night Loft is sometimes I get up early with the dogs, and we'll get to that in a second. But sometimes the best laid plans of staying awake don't work out, and I fall asleep. But for this, I was awake, and the first one is going to be. Let me see how to get it into the camera here.
Oh, there you go. That's nice. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
75 Tom Seaver Mini, pulled fresh out of a pack from you. And it came back an 8.5. And I know that the people in the know that's a super high grade for a card that's been sleeping for 45 years.
Yeah. That's a beauty. I remember that card.
And another one, which those that know, a 79 O-Peachy, with the rough cut sides and everything, coming back at 8.5, 79 Schmidt.
Very cool. And that was something that we pulled for you also, James?
Yeah. You actually pulled that. It might have been on a different night, or might even been on the same night in the loft. But what I'm about to show you, it was in the first year of my getting with you guys, so over 2 years ago.
Wow.
This is really cool. This is not going to be an 8.5. It's probably not even going to be even near that. But nonetheless, it's one of my favorite cards, and I'll tell you why. Here's what we refer to, as you would know, this is a badly miscut 72
Maze, sure.
Razor sharp corners. I mean, really, other than the miscut, it is, you could cut your finger with it. But that being said, why this is one of my favorite cards, because I won, not a card, I won an entire pack of 72 Top Series 1. Just happened to be one of my favorite, sets I never had access to as a child. It was on one of the things, I think it was a closeout special or something. And frankly, I didn't even plan on winning it. And then all of a sudden I see that I'd won it. And J5 reached out to me, and I said, listen, I said, this is called Vintage Breaks, not Vintage Keeps. Let's crack it open. It was in a PS case. And around 9 o'clock one night, he opened it up. And of course, do I wish this was well-centered? At first I did, but now I kind of liked it. It's so badly miscut because I'll never forget, how I got it, or, just basically the excitement of watching a pack that, as a child I could have never gotten. Even as an adult, it's still very hard to get. And it was all mine, and it was opened up, and that anticipation is awesome. And that's what kind of keeps me, and probably a lot of people, coming back to the site.
No, that's really cool. I'm glad that you hung on to it. Hey, what's up, Ben? Afternoon, Brandon. So James, you really you brought a smile to my face, because you're hanging on to a card. Let's be honest, it's not worth a lot of money. And you're talking about you've been with us for a couple of years. It's almost like, we're your doctor. Clearly we're not. Obviously, I don't know anything about the field, but it really does give me a great sense of pride and community in what we do. And, listen, we could talk about cards and whatnot for quite some time, but we were talking earlier this afternoon about your other life's passion. And I wanted to not only talk about that, but also, show your friend that you have there with you. And, for those of you that, haven't joined me in the last few weeks, I recently lost my dear Argy Bear, and James and everyone else in our community has been very supportive of myself and our family. And, without becoming bushier by the minute, I'm going to let James kind of take over and talk about his work, share with all of you in our community about his journey and what's going on there. So, James, please take it away.
Well, sure. I mean, Leighton, we talked before, and definitely on once again, my condolences on losing Argon. I think, my work with animals is it's a passion. Working with Audi is my job, and I love my job, but my passion is working with animals that haven't had a very easy time in life, haven't gotten a fair shake. And I've been doing it for several years now. I've been very active in the rescue community. I have 3 rescues of my own. But I've been working in rescue in terms of volunteering, and as you'll see in a second, I have a special guest behind me. That's been for about 2 years now, and it's just one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I mean, everybody has a different path, and frankly, when I was younger, I didn't know this was my path. But it is working with disadvantaged dogs or dogs that have been, basically tossed aside by their original owners. Maybe they even had a family, maybe they lived on the streets, but then you meet them. You take that first walk, that first car ride, that first trip to Starbucks for a frappuccino, or they call it a puppuccino, and it's just amazing. I mean, I don't know that a lot of us humans, myself included, we would hold a grudge. We would carry a chip on our shoulder for what had happened to us. But dogs don't do that. So without further ado, you're going to see the camera move a little bit, and I'm going to introduce everyone to Rudy. Little background about Rudy. Rudy is a 10-year-old Belgian Malinois Shepherd mix. Well, there you go. Here's Rudy. He's known for his smile. He's known for his just upbeat look in life. He's been with a Abandoned Pet Rescue, affectionately known by locally as APR. And there's a saying at APR. Those happen to be some of those are my dogs. And there's Rudy again. And you'll see what says Rudy never has a bad day, and he really doesn't. Those pictures were taken at Audi Fort Lauderdale. That's actually my boss's leather chair in his office. As you can see, Rudy has no trouble making himself comfortable. He does wear special shoes. We call them his magic shoes. He had a setback as a puppy that had left him slightly disabled to his back paws. But once again, he doesn't let him get him down. He's always got a smile on his face. And there's a saying at APR that you want love, we got love. Here, love is guaranteed. And I got to tell you, man, it really is. I'll try to not get emotional as well. So you're going to see the camera move a little bit. I'm not a pro like these guys, so bear with me. And everyone, there's Rudy.
What's up, Rudy?
Look at him.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Bubba. I would adopt
Rudy,
you in 2 seconds if my wife would let me.
What a beautiful dog.
He's a good-looking fella.
Oh, sorry, guys. There's Rudy. So he comes here every Monday.
Oh.
Let me get my hand out of the picture here.
Yeah, tell us about what you do with Rudy while we're looking at Rudy. You're a good-looking fella there, James, but we'd rather see Rudy.
What I decided to do, and it started actually not with Rudy, started last year with Bessie. Luckily, Bessie got adopted, but I figured just like in any business, it's everybody wants the new this, the new house, the new car, and even the new dog. And when a dog gets to a certain age, or if it has a certain medical setback, sometimes they just get overlooked and then years go by. So what I decided to do was start to bring one of the older dogs. And once again, thanks to my business, Audi Fort Lauderdale, my company, they allow me to do it. They know my passion. And APR for trusting me with one of their dogs. And we leave the shelter for the day. We come to the dealership. We go for walks, car rides. We meet customers. Rudy is we call him the welcoming committee. I mean, if you were here, he literally the first thing he does, he walks up to you. You could be a stone cold stranger, and what he's going to do? He's going to offer you his head so you can pet him. That's what he does. And he actually looks like he's a little bit camera shy right now, but
oh, that's so adorable! Oh my God!
But he hangs out here, and it's the coolest thing because one thing I want to leave anyone that's listening is that it doesn't take some special plan to work in rescue. You keep your job, you do whatever you do. If you can't adopt, maybe you can foster. If you can't foster, you can volunteer. If you can't volunteer, you can donate. If you can't donate, just like we always talk about it in Vintage Breaks, like hit the share button. Like you can share a dog in need, share a dog that's on the local rescue that you see. It doesn't take but a split second to share it, and it could save that dog's life. So in things I wish would happen that may or may not, I would love that someone on this feed or someone within the sound of our voices may see this and say, I want to know more about Rudy, and maybe go meet him, maybe adopt him. But you know what? Even if just watching this, you decide to get involved in your local rescue, then it's worth $1 million. Let me see if I can look. You've got Rudy boy. Rudy, want your bone?
I would have said, "Argy boy, I have a treat," and then he'd look up. Yeah, exactly.
There he is.
Ah, look
There
at
he
that.
is.
That's a great shot. Oh my
I mean, and
goodness.
this is a 10-year-old dog, and I mean, big dogs. That's old for a 10-year-old dog, regardless of his background or his feet. And you see his magic shoes on. He actually just got brand new shoes, which was a big deal. Normally, we don't go for very long walks. Last week when he got these new shoes, he literally pulled me, says, "No, no, James, we're not just going on the local grass. We're going for a walk." And I mean, so I can tell you, every dog has a story, and every dog has a unique personality, and it's a gift of my life to be able to work directly with the rescues and the dogs. I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Yeah, we are very proud of James, and look at Rudy; he's beautiful.
That's tremendous. I love that you're able to bring him to work, and that your environment at work and the powers that be are supporting you doing that. I think it's fantastic, James.
Yeah, like I said, kudos to Audi Fort Lauderdale. I mean, it's my passion, and frankly, I mean, I kind of joke with my boss, who I've known for years. I'm like, listen, this is part of why I want to be here for a long, long time, is because anybody can take out of the community, but giving back, and anybody that meets him, I mean, you're hard pressed to meet Rudy and still have a bad day, or maybe you were complaining about something. Even me, we all start that day. You're running late or something. You spill your coffee, and you're like, or maybe just someone just isn't. You're not feeling right about something. Then you meet Rudy. He's got every reason to be mad about everything, and he's not mad about anything. He's just going to work. I put peanut butter in his bone before it gets here, and that usually keeps him pretty busy, as you can see.
He's adorable.
Now you have some other James. You have some other rescues.
Oh yeah, well those dogs are actually my personal dogs. 1 second, I'm just going to put the camera back up.
Sure.
This is my inaugural time of doing this, guys. In fact, the joke at the dealership is that I know just enough about technology to do my job, but not much more than that. There you go. So this was a big deal getting set up for this. Those are my personal dogs. That little girl in the corner with the pink harness, she's the one that started all. That's London, or affectionately known to me and everyone that knows her, Lundy. I got Lundy in 2010. She was a puppy. She was taken from Broward Humane Society. And this kind of started everything. At the time, I just thought that I was going to, just have one dog like everybody does, and so would go the world. And then this good-looking fella here with the blue harness, that's Batty. His nickname is Batty because he's got ears like a bat.
He does.
He was, let's just say, to keep it light on the show, he was about to have a very bad day at the local kill, at Miami-Dade Animal Services, at the out-of-county kill shelter. And with the help of Love Is Forever Rescue at a Fort Myers, they grabbed him and I took him, and he's been one of the family ever since. And then that's Bamboo. Bamboo, I've been working with since I started working with Abandoned Pet Rescue last year. Bamboo has an interesting story. As you can see, he's very photogenic. He doesn't take a bad picture, though I definitely do. Bamboo was a stray. He was living in basically an abandoned house backyard, and they were able to get him into the shelter, where one would think, well, at least he's safe. Like Rudy has assimilated the shelter life. Some dogs do and some dogs don't. Bamboo was one of the dogs that didn't. Bamboo didn't want to be in a cage, didn't understand why he was, living in a shelter. And lucky for me is I got to meet him real early when he came there last year, and we formed a bond. Like I gave him a doggy ice cream, and the rest was history. And Bamboo was just becoming less and less himself. In December of last year, I told APR, I said, bring him to my house. And by January of this year, he was adopted by me. And we have a very unique bond. I mean, he really he looks to me for guidance, strength, everything. And watching a dog that literally didn't know anything about the world except bad things probably, and watch him blossom now. And he's 3 years old, but if you see him play and you see him in the backyard, he's a puppy. Everything's new to him. Sooner or later, like my two dogs, he'll be spoiled, and he'll make demands about what he wants and when he wants it, and that'll be my fault, but I'm happy to do it. But that's my gang. That's my gang.
All right, why don't you give the adoption agency a plug too? I can get their flyer up here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so Abandoned Pet Rescue, they're the largest no-kill shelter in Fort Lauderdale and the greater Fort Lauderdale area. I will tell you, and I spoke with Leighton, there are many grassroots rescues that need your help. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be an adoption. It could be foster. It could be a share. I started working at APR as a volunteer doing Sunday walks and just walking dogs. And that's where I met Bessie, who's already thankfully been adopted. And that's actually where I met Rudy. And it could be an hour out of your day. What I tell people when I meet them at work, or if they ask about my work and rescue, 1 hour out of your week is the best hour possibly out of their week or their month. You can choose a dog. You can pick favorites. You like small dogs? They got small dogs. You like cats? They got cats. You like big dogs? You can call your shots. Odin there, if you see with the one eye, they said Odin's got a permanent wink. He got his nickname from, Marvel Comics as Odin. I haven't worked with him much, but he does have some people that definitely work with him. So it's okay to have favorites at the shelter. And then, you'll build a bond that if you've never worked with animals that you didn't know existed. And that's all I can tell you. And it doesn't have to be just the Bandit Pet Rescue. Wherever you are watching this feed, whatever city, whatever state, whatever country, there's animals in need. And I can tell you, you give them a little, but they'll give you so much more.
So James, that was a wonderful, plug for your local shelter down there. One of the things I thought was really nice when we chatted earlier today. So I told you what, my wife, myself, and our family wanted to do, kind of in Argonne's honor, and you really opened up my eyes, James, to not just potentially putting a certain amount of money in a family's pocket to offset costs of a dog, but I find myself like, hey, I'm comfortable. I know right now I can't take another dog into my home. I'm just not emotionally there. But Jesus criminy, would I like to take a dog this weekend, especially one? Listen, I have a soft spot in my heart for dogs that have issues like Argonne and epilepsy. Like Rudy's been through a lot. So I didn't really understand actually that shelters, especially some of the local ones, are looking for folks. Forget about for your money. They're just looking for TLC. They're looking for someone to care about what's going on there. And I'm certainly willing to do that. I miss my Argy Bear, but it'd be great to do that. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice healing process too. Yeah. Just to go out and spend a little time with the dog, and just going to help you heal too.
Yeah, most certainly. So James, I thought that's what opened up my my eyes today when we were chatting. So I'm not going to make you break up any more than looks like you may. I'm certainly going to try not to myself, but really commend you for the work that you do. It's wonderful. And the little shout out to True Panion, because we're both talking about it. So, James was hearing me talk about Argy Bear and how he had so many problems, so much money. And True Panion just kept writing a check. I didn't know when they would cut us off, and they didn't. So, one of the things that if you're going to go out and you're going to get yourself a new member of your family, like a dog, like a cat, get pet insurance. It doesn't have to be True Panion, right? We're not getting any cuts here, but get some pet medical insurance, because you don't want to be put in a position where, you have to choose, can you take care of your beloved dog or cat or beloved family member anymore because you can't afford to. And I know I have firsthand experience with True Panion, which is why I'm bringing it up. So, James, I wanted to see if there's anything else you wanted to add here before we let you go and get back to the real world.
No, I mean, I just appreciate the opportunity. And like I said, if I could leave everyone just one thing, it's and Leighton, I didn't mention it to you earlier because I know that this is very fresh, losing Argy. When you're ready, I guarantee you, even if it's 1 hour a week and, whatever it is, once you see what you can do, what anybody that's not just Leighton, what these dogs take. I mean, Rudy, literally, they'll even say they know because he gets dressed up a little different. His boots go on. He doesn't always have to wear his boots if he's just at the shelter. He knows when it's his day to come here. They said he knows right away. Dogs are smarter than a lot of us give them credit for, and I can tell you they know and they appreciate probably more than we're even capable of. So, and it's almost greedy. I do it for them, but I do it because I feel so great when I do it. So it's a win-win. You can't lose. That's it.
Yep. Well, James, thanks so much for being here today and being part of our Vintage Breaks community, and your love of dogs and your passion for them clearly shows. So thank you for being here and speaking up for those four-legged little guys, in some cases big guys that need a lot of TLC and need some extra love. So thank you, James.
And thanks for introducing us to Rudy. We're all in love.
Oh my goodness, I would adopt him in a minute.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Oh, that was nice.
Oh yeah, I mean, talk about a feel-good story. And I was talking with James when I was taking a break earlier, and he's telling about what he's doing, and you see Rudy in person. Like, yeah, he's a great looking boy. Would love to have him by my side, every day.
We're still looking. You're still offering the money for an adoption to help out with the adoption?
Yes, we are. And I was waiting to actually talk with James to figure out kind of the direction we're going to take. So I have a little bit better idea now. I think this weekend I'm probably going to visit somewhere locally just to kind of see what's going on, to see if maybe someone crosses my path or my family's path, and who knows. But yes, we are still offering, we'll call it the Argonne Collarship, for the ability for a family to adopt a dog and bring him or her into your world. And maybe you can't do that for one reason or another. You can drop me a line personally, Leighton at justcollect.com, and I'd be happy to talk with you about it.
Right, excellent. And we topped out. How long do we have left? We topped out at about 55 viewers today. We needed 20 more.
So we probably have another minute or two. I wanted to make sure that we gave away our prizes today, but then also, Lou, a little plug for Mr. Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
We're giving away this card next week on the Loft. So the only way to win this 2019 Topps Chrome Update Fernando Tatis Jr. Rookie Family Business PSA 10 is to tune in on the Loft. And don't forget, folks, anyone who's lucky enough to win one of these break credits we're about to give away with Emily, spend it before Sunday, so that way you'll be in our big event that ends at 10 o'clock this Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You want to bring Emily in?
Yep.
Hey, guys.
Emily's here.
All right, Emily, so I'm going to roll the dice to figure out how many times we're going to randomize the list.
Sure.
Randomize it 9 times.
All
And
right.
we're going to give away 7 prizes, all break credit to vintagebreaks.com. I'll tell everyone what they won after we select the 7 winners.
All right. 1, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Hey, what's up, Dom?
7.
He was
Football's
saying hi to Emily. He wasn't saying hi to you.
I know. That's why I was speaking up. I got a little situation with that, a little problem.
Hi, guys. 9 times.
Great. So Ben wins a $75 break credit. Second place is, I can't read that, Rob G.
Yeah,
Rob Graham,
how can you
Jason
do that?
Roth.
That's a $50 break credit. $25 break credit is who's in third place?
Jason Rothman,
And then if you could read 4th through 7th, they each get a $10 break credit.
Gus Sanglas, Logan Ward, James Foster, and Lucas Lukasinski.
Oh, nice.
Great. Congratulations to each and every one of you for winning a break credit to vintagebreaks.com. I encourage you to spend it before Sunday's big event ends at 10 o'clock. All the details of our big event can be found at event.vintagebreaks.com. Special shout out this week to our team who's doing a great job with our big event ending Sunday. It's an incredible amount of work, but they don't miss a beat. Lou, thanks for being a great wingman. And, of course, James Phillips to all of his efforts. And the special guest star of this week, Rudy. Great-looking boy, and hope to meet you one day in person. Be great if I could adopt him and tell my wife. But I think that's probably a little bit too soon for us anyway. But, James, thanks again for all of your efforts in the local dog community, how passionate you are, and, of course, being a member of our Vintage Breaks community. Thank you.
In addition to our regular giveaways next week, the Fernando Tatis card. So everybody come back. We'll have another giveaway. I'm going to get you to do the other giveaway for 75 live viewers too. So line your people up, line your family up, and let's get over 75 and add that 8th prize next week. I'm going to spend your money for you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to everyone for tuning in today for Leighton's Loft podcast. If you are listening to this afterwards, the only way to win next week during our live podcast is to tune in on Facebook to Leighton's Loft from 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have a great week, everybody.
You too.